All right, so the AI space is getting really, really interesting already, especially in the music business. So, this is the recent news. The artist Grimes has recently announced that she is going to allow anybody, music producers, music creators, even just her fans, to use AI generated versions of her voice to create new music. And not only that, she's going to allow you to do it legally without permission and split royalties with her. So this is a really interesting move, and this is kind of like a 180 from what we saw last week with Universal Music Group. They were the ones that essentially sent the takedown notice to all the streaming sites and said, "Hey, take down that Drake and Weekend AI song. That's not actually our artist. They're not participating in the revenue or the income, and we didn't authorize that. That's infringement. Take it down." So Grimes, who is an independent artist who's saying that she doesn't have any legal problems or any contracts that this would be violating, she's saying, have at it. It's open season. Use my voice, be creative, go out there. Let's see what kind of art we create together, essentially. So, this is a really interesting move. Now, not only is she saying just go for it and have full permission to do that, she's saying that she's working on making a program that should simulate her voice well and could also upload stems and samples for people to train their own. So, not only is she saying you can do it, but she actually wants to make it easier for you to do it. And so, she's kind of pioneering this new way of essentially maybe creating her own Grimes AI voice generator that people could go and use. That actually might be a new source of revenue for her where she can basically charge people to use that app, maybe a subscription basis. I don't know how that's going to work, or maybe she's just going to make it 100% for free forever. We'll see how that kind of works out. But she also said that she's going to split 50% royalties on any successfully created AI generated song that's using her voice. So she's becoming a partner with you, with anybody that actually wants to use her voice. So that's pretty interesting, pretty amazing. And the way that she explains it is that, it's basically the same deal that she would have with any artist that she collaborates with. So feel free to use my voice without any penalty. I have no label and no legal bindings. So pretty, really cool. I think this is pretty cool. I think this is a really interesting, bold move. Of course, this gets her the clicks. This gets her all of the attention. This gets people like me making videos about her. So it certainly is helpful for her to become very relevant and talked about and get a lot of free press. But it's kind of an interesting experiment to kind of see where this is going to go. Of course, the big concern with a move like this is, well, what's to stop somebody from making a very, very controversial song or promote some sort of a topic or some sort of a point of view that's counter to what Grimes stands for and what she values, of course. And she did address that. And basically what she said was that she tweeted this. She said that basically she might have to do copyright takedowns only for really, really toxic lyrics with Grimes' voice. Okay. So she's saying that basically have at it. You have permission. Just be cool, right? Don't do anything that's overtly, maybe racist or just controversial in a way that she would feel like, yeah, that you're obviously just trying to troll and get a lot of attention with this, and that's really sort of counter to what I am about and what my sort of vision is or what my brand is as an artist. So she's still reserving the right to be like, yeah, I can definitely take it down if I feel like it's really toxic and it's getting viral for bad reasons, kind of a thing. But she's essentially just saying, go for it. So I don't know. If I were a huge Grimes fan and I made music, I would be all over this. This is a really, really interesting proposition to essentially become a co-writer with one of my favorite artists, right? Or one of my favorite, songwriters or something like that. This is just kind of interesting, and not kind of is downplaying it. This is very, very interesting. So just wanted to share this quickly with you guys. The link for this article is in the description box if you want to read more about it. But let's just keep our eyes on this thing because there are certainly multiple reactions to this technology. And remember, let's always go back in history to kind of remember who were the people that really did well when Napster and file sharing and MP3 formats came around. Well, the record labels didn't do that great because all they did was sort of fight it. And they're kind of doing that now with the AI stuff. Now, in some ways, I understand, I see their point of view. This could be sort of Pandora's box that once you just allow this stuff, it just completely creates chaos and havoc and really just eats out their primary source of income and revenue, right? And streaming and, getting original artist music out there, a certain part of that. But in the long run, the labels didn't do that well by fighting against the technology, right? They really sort of lost a lot of their sort of their power, their relevance. And right here, you can see Grimes, being a fairly established artist without any sort of a label restriction around her saying, oh, no, you can't do that. You can't make a move like that. She's kind of showing you that, you can kind of make moves like this if you're independent, if you're on your own. So I always feel like it was like, remember it was Apple that essentially finally saw this file sharing problem. They were seeing that like people wanted music, but they were, there was a lot of pushback against sort of the free stuff that people were sharing with each other. And of course, the viruses and the, basically the porn that was kind of coming along, that it was, you were downloading files that were not actually what it showed on your computer screen. So they were the ones that came up with iTunes and the music store. Essentially, they were the first ones to say, "All right, let's charge a buck a song. Let's make sure that it's safe, make sure that people can get the actual music that they want, and it's easy to use and accessible." And so they essentially single-handedly, I think, kind of saved the music industry and certainly saved the record labels from total demise. So I always find, at least my personal point of view of this, is it's the kind of the pioneers that look at this new technology, don't try to squash it, or, hinder it, take it down, all that kind of stuff. But they really try to wrap their hands around it, or they try to incorporate it in some way, which also means that it's going to disrupt their current source of revenue. But they know that if they don't wrap their hands around it, they will definitely just be completely run over and they'll be wiped out of business pretty much entirely. So I'm going to keep my finger on this one. I'm going to really see and follow how this works out. But I wanted to just show you guys and keep you guys updated on the latest stuff happening in this AI space.